Okay, at this point, I hope you've practiced for a while, maybe a week or two, or even longer, and you're happy and confident with your new S sound. At this point, you should be able to produce a long, steady, regular S. If you're still not sure if you're able to produce a good, clear S, try making the old sound, and then the new. If the new sound is still difficult, keep practicing before going on to the next step. Ask other people's advice. See if they can hear the difference between the new S and the old Lisp, and if the new S is closer to your target sound. When you feel confident with your new regular S sound, try some alternating exercises with your new sound and your old Lisp. For instance, if you have an interdental Lisp, it might sound like this. Or a lateral Lisp. Don't rush this, it takes time. A few of you might get it quite quickly, but for others it will take a lot of practice. Remember, you've been using your Lisp for a few years, so a few days or weeks of practice will be a short time in comparison. If you can answer these questions, move to the next step. Are you able to alternate comfortably between your Lisp and your new S sound? Can you alternate 10 times consistently between the two sounds without stopping? You have now started to build a new motor program for the S sound. When you can articulate the sound with ease for several seconds, and you can alternate between the old Lisp sound and your new S several times in succession, then you're ready for this section. We're going to begin and try and use our new S sound in some simple words. We start by using nonsense words, and there's a good reason for this. Remember earlier we talked about the motor program. When we speak and say a word we know, the motor program in our brain sends signals to the speech apparatus to articulate that word or sound. And we have a motor program for each word and sound in our vocabulary. If you have a Lisp, then the motor program for your lisped S sound may be slightly different. It might direct your tongue onto your teeth, or between your teeth, or direct the airflow over the sides of your tongue rather than over the blade. So the motor program for words containing S when you have a Lisp might be slightly faulty. But we have no motor program for nonsense words. So we can create brand new motor programs for these words using the new S sound. So if we want to learn the new S sound, we don't want to use familiar words to practice because we have a faulty motor program for these words. We are better off using nonsense words because these are unfamiliar and we do not have a motor program already set up. So let's just have a quick reminder how we make the regular S sound. The blade of your tongue lifts and has close approximation with the alveolar ridge in your mouth. The side of your tongue will also make some contact with the inner sides of your upper teeth. This creates a groove across the middle of your tongue, and the air travels along the groove and passes between the blade of your tongue and the alveolar ridge. Using our new symbol, take a look at these nonsense words. Visualize where your tongue would go to say them. Try miming them, and when you're miming, look in the mirror to see if your tongue is moving to the correct place in your mouth. Let's try and say them. Su, sa. To start with, it might be easier to separate the new S from the vowel sounds. Try and blend the two sounds together until they are seamless. For instance, s, oo, s, oo, su. And another one. Ah, sa. To start with, it might be easier to put your teeth together to make the S sound. When you're confident performing these words, try some of the others in step 6 of your workbook. When you practice these, record yourself, or if possible, ask someone to listen. Go through the list in your workbook and make up some of your own if you like. Remember, just choose single syllable nonsense words with a new S at the beginning. If you've done lots of practice and you feel confident producing the new S sound in simple nonsense words and syllables, compare how it sounds with your Lisp. Take the nonsense word Sue, for instance, and alternate it with your Lisped version. Feel and hear the difference. Feel the difference of your tongue placement and movement. If we imagine you have an interdental lisp, it might sound like this. Sue, thu, sue, thu, sue, thu. If you have a lateral lisp, it might sound like this. Sue, hu, sue, hu, sue, hu. If you can easily produce the nonsense words and using your new S alternate between old and new sounds with nonsense words and answer these questions, you are ready for the next step. Why do we use nonsense words to practice the new S? Do nonsense words use an old existing motor program or a new one? Are you able to blend the new S and another sound together to make a seamless nonsense word?